So after that explosive opener, we move on to singles action. And one guy that we're more than used to seeing.
One half of my favourite tag team.
LD James currently flying solo tonight without his regular tag team partner JJ Roberts, and if you ask me, that is a very, very good bit of news for his opponent today.
One thing you never want to see in your life is JJ Roberts charging towards you. Another thing you never want to see is LD James across the ring from you, because let me tell you something, Spring, this guy has the technical aspect to tie you up in knots. He can also punch your teeth out.
I say if High and Mighty are one of the best, and their kryptonite, TKO, I mean the series of matches they've had over the past year and a half that I've been here, nothing short of phenomenal. His opponent today, a man I call the heart and soul of Exposure Wrestling.
The thing about Heartspring, they can be ripped out.
So far so good for Axel Carter. He's still here, he's still standing tall. He still wears Exposure as a badge of honor.
How much longer will he be standing? How much longer will he be the heart of Exposure? That is the question. Because he's got a very, very, very tough opponent in LD James tonight.
I mean, this will not be the first time that Axel Carter has been up against someone bigger than him, someone badder than him. But this guy's got a good heart, he's got a good soul, and that's the reason why he's probably, I mean, I don't have the stats for Exposure, but if I did, I wouldn't be surprised to see if he was probably one of the most winningest wrestlers in Exposure. I struggle to think of a time that he's ever lost, if I'm being honest.
Did you just say winningest?
Winningest, it's a word, look it up. I.e. the guy with the most wins.
Maybe where you come from is a word, but down in normal land with normal people, I don't think that's a word, Spring, but hey, that's a different story.
He's got the most wins, the winningest.
So he's the most victorious.
You could say that, but I was trying to show off, and you just ruined it.
See, again, this is the problem with people like Axel Carter. He'd rather pander to the crowd. He'd rather get these people's admiration. Do silly things like this rather than look at and get down to business against a tough guy like LD James.
Now, are you telling me, if you were in there and the crowd were cheering for you and they were getting hyped for you, are you telling me honestly you'd ignore them and you just get on with your business?
That's exactly what I would do, because I don't need these people's admiration.
It's not that Axel needs it, it's just while he's got it, he's going to make the most of it, he's going to have some fun.
Completely shameful display by Axel Carter. Well, now we get to the action. Now this is where LD James is going to shine.
Oh, and that was uncalled for, but that is the tactics we've come to see and learn from Team TKO,
that was
from LD James.
A beautiful hand. Right hand, straight to the chops of Axel Carter.
He might have a few teeth loose.
He didn't have many to begin with.
You know how I know that the toothbrush was invented in Wales?
Yeah.
If it was invented in England, it would be called the teeth brush.
And how long did it take you to think that up, Spring? You worked on that all day, right?
Not as long as it took you to figure it out. But anyway, back to the in-ring action. We're here to do a job. So we just want to have fun, that's all it is. We've got the action in the ring. We're having a good time here.
There's having fun and then there's getting down to business. It's professional wrestling.
You see, LD James went to the well one too many times, went for that rabbit punch over the top of the ref. Axel Carter had it scouted. Look at this.
This is the experience of LD James.
I don't think he's seen Axel Carter around the other side of the ring. Pops up, clothesline to the outside. I'm not sure if you felt that, but I think the floor just wobbled with the bump to the floor that LD James just took. Another clothesline. Hip toss. And the drop kick. Nice chain of offense by Axel Carter, the heartbeat of exposure. Oh, and look again. Just as he's getting on top, LD James is pulling all those tricks out of his playbook.
What was wrong with that tactic? Name me one thing wrong with that tactic.
It was just...
Did it not get the job done?
Yeah, but... He's a horrible man. Knee breaker. Something you don't see very often. Oh, no. Followed by a nice corkscrew elbow.
Into the pin.
Just a 2 count, though.
Going back to your point about him being a horrible man, nobody ever remembered Mr. Nice. Nobody ever remembered a nice guy. How many times have you been out on a date, Spring? You've been nice to the chick, and she never called you again. She was washing her hair or feeding her dog.
The last first date I went on, that's exactly what I did 6 years on. We're engaged, you know, it works.
Have she picked up her winnings yet?
Oh, that was a hard Irish whip. They say LD stands for little... Yeah, well, you can guess. Bridging Fisherman only got 2, though.
These people are just jealous.
Of a little... No, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Elbow to the face by LD James.
Stiff forearm.
Headbutt.
Shoots him off the ropes. Huge clothesline again.
Into the cover. 1, 2.
Just a 2 count again, though. Another hard Irish whip sends Axel sternum first into those turnbuckles. That's just nasty.
LD James having a few words with the referee. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Because I thought he had quite a few near falls there. Massive body slam back into the cover. 1, 2.
This is the ability that Axel Carter has here at exposure. The more of a beating he takes. Oh,
what's this referee doing, Spring?
Standing up for himself, refusing to be bullied.
He stands up for himself, he's still 3 foot tall. What is he doing? He can't put his hands on the competitors.
LD James put his hands on the ref first. Referee warned him.
Boot to the face. Axel Carter going up top, high risk.
Oh, and again using the referee.
That's exactly why it's high risk, Spring. This is the experience of LD James.
The higher the risk, the higher the reward. Also the farther the fall. And look, it's going to see a superplex, it seems, from the heavens. Superplex!
Beautiful by LD James. Crawling into the cover.
Just a 2 count, though.
this crowd firmly behind Axel Carter.
Nice spinning bulldog off that second rope. This is the thing. This is where the crowd will work, because you notice that moment where Axel Carter was down on the mat. The crowd fired up. Look at him now, moments later. Super kick! Right to the jaw of LD James. 2, 3! And that is all it took. And you know, I'm going to say it, still the winningest wrestler in exposure.
We're going to need to look at this word, wingingness.
Winningest?
Winning.
It's a word. Don't make me get my phone out and Google it. I'm trying to pay attention to the ring, and I'm trying to show some appreciation for the barmaids. I don't need to be looking at my phone right now. I will get it out. I will Google winningest for you and prove my point.
I wouldn't get your phone out, Spring, because I've seen your circuitry. Trust me, it isn't pretty.
As you said, though, it doesn't have to be pretty to be effective.
Is that what your wife said to you?
She may or may not have it on a t-shirt, I cannot confirm. But either way, folks, Axel Carter picks up another W in exposure. LD James has to go back to the drawing board. You've got to think it might be a very different story, though, if JJ Roberts was out here.